Hello everyone, and welcome back to the H.E.R podcast, where we are healing, elevating and restoring day by day with Christ. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm going to get straight into this episode. If you enjoyed playing Mario Kart as a kid, you will love trusting God's plan. I'm going to say that again. If you loved playing Mario Kart as a kid, you will love trusting God's plan. Now stay with me for this episode because it will land. But let me take you back to when I was in therapy for the first time. I went to therapy because I had a really bad issue with controlling things and I was not saved yet. I went to therapy a second time because that need to control things got worse, and I was in a relationship at the time and it was just too much planning. It was too much trying to make things work, trying to make things happen, and a fear of the future, which then led to me trying to control the future essentially. So picture me, an ex-control freak, just been saved, praying to God, please God, help me understand what your plan and purpose is for me. And in my head pops in a Mario Kart racetrack. And I'm like, what on earth is going on? Has anybody ever prayed before? And the image that you get from God is just so obscure. That's how I felt in that moment. I felt like the obscurity that I was seeing made no sense whatsoever. But anyways, I decided to continue and I thought, let me just continue praying and praying and praying until I had that aha light bulb moment. Trusting God's plan is exactly like playing Mario Kart. Let me start with the track. So in Mario Kart, you have a track. You go on the track and you trust that the track that you've chosen for yourself is going to get you to the finish line. You have to follow it and you'll get to the finish line. You choose your character and essentially you just get in and you steer. It's the same with God's plan. God has a path for us that is already written. When you play Mario Kart, you don't start driving along the track and think, oh, I wish I could change that. And you just drive. So why, when God gives us his plan and his path, do we start wanting to make changes and deviate from his path and go this way or go that way, when really it's already written for us? May I add, when you deviate from the path, from the track on Mario Kart, you get that cloud character that comes up and it will literally drop you back onto the track. That is God. No matter how far we deviate from his plan, he will always call us back. But what I love, I didn't love it when I was playing Mario Kart, but what I love about God's plan is wherever it drops you is exactly where you left off. It doesn't drop you any further, any closer to the finish line, to your goals, to the blessings. It drops you right back where you are so you can learn that lesson again. And if you don't do the same mistake again, you will go forward. And I absolutely love that. The thing about God's path for us is that it's already written. We don't go around trying to play God. We should just be looking forward. But much like Mario Kart, if you turn back to something, if you spin the block on something, you will have to do a U-turn. And on Mario Kart, you will get a warning, U-turn, alert, alert, until it literally physically turns you back around. That is God. You can go back to the same mistakes as much as you want, but you will run out of time in your race and you will spend so much time in the past that you don't even get to experience your future. Is that what you want? Because I thought this was what I wanted. I thought I wanted to be in control, but much like Mario Kart, there is a timer on life. So if I spend so much time in the past doing U-turns, doing drifts and spinning out of control, I'm going to miss the blessings that are ahead of me. And I want to back this up with scripture. It says in Proverbs 16:9, in their human hearts plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. The Lord literally establishes our steps. He has our steps established ahead of us. Before we even know what's going on, they are mapped out ahead of us. So the same way that you trust that the track that you've chosen will allow your car to get from the start line to the finish line, we should trust that God's put us on this earth and his plan will get us from blessing to blessing, lesson to lesson, because it's not all perfect. It's not all happiness and rainbows as a Christian. We know this. But if you trust his path, you will get to where you need to go. Now let's get on to my favourite part of Mario Kart, the power-up boxes. Now, I don't know about you, but my favourite was the star that would make you go super fast, and if it hit anyone in the way, they would like knock off the course, or the little bullet that would make you go super fast, and you'd get to the finish line super quickly, and you'd pass everyone, and you were like 5th place. I loved it. The power-ups are essentially God's blessing. If we follow on the right path, on the right track, we will establish and we will reach the blessings that God has in store for us. And it's so great because God's blessings are literally all around us. We get to see them all the time if we follow the right path. The second we start looking into other people's lanes, the second we start retracting, we are literally missing a blessing that was steps ahead of us. And it's as simple as that. The power-up boxes that we see in Mario Kart are God's blessings. They're already on our path. We don't have to call any of them in. They're already there. God knows what's on our hearts. He knows what's in our minds. They're there. But the only issue is, are we walking towards them, or are we looking in the rearview mirror, trying to go back to things that held us in the past? Trying to go back to things that pulled us away from God. So I'm going to back this up with scripture. In Deuteronomy 28:2, it says, all these blessings will come on you and accompany you if you obey your Lord, the Lord your God. We will get all these blessings if we just obey God. If we just listen to him, they are all there. However, do you guys remember the power-up boxes that look like power-up boxes, but when you get really, really close, they're just not? That's temptation. That's sin. That's the enemy. And they are also on our path. So when I'm saying to you, just walk ahead and get your blessings, that is not me being naive. There is also sin and temptation on our path. We're human. It's going to happen. And they look so similar until you got to the last moment you would drive into them and you would start spinning out of control. The same way, if you go to something that's leading you into temptation, something that's leading you to sin, it looks great, it looks really exciting until it literally causes you to spin out of control. And the only thing you can do is wait for the spinning to stop, ground yourself and hope that God will come and reroute you the same way the cloud character comes and does the same. You're spinning, it turns you around, you carry on going straight. You have to take stock of what just happened to you. Otherwise you will end up going back to what held you in that space or to what attracted you to that temptation box. It's the same thing. On our path, there is lessons, there is blessings. You have to be able to differentiate between the two, identify them, and experience them. I'm not saying have a life free from temptation, have a life free from sin, if you are going to it blindly. No one intentionally hit those power-ups on Mario Kart to spin out of control. We wanted to win, right? But it happened. It happens. So we have to be kind to ourselves and realize that, yes, this has happened. God, can you pull me out of it? I'm not talking about sinning with intention here. I'm talking about if you do sin, go to someone who can take that away from you. So it says in 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising then if his servant also masquerades as servants of righteousness. The enemy will always look so similar to what our blessings are, but use your discernment. Does it feel right in your heart? It will be so similar. And take it from me, as someone who was praying for something and I felt like this could actually be the thing I was praying for. It looked good, but it didn't feel good. There was a feeling in my chest of heaviness that just felt like this could be the real thing, but this just doesn't feel like it's from God. And it wasn't. So you have to be able to distinguish and discern. Is this from God? Will this teach me something? Am I about to make the same mistake twice or 3 times or 4 times? Now that brings me on to my third point. My next comparison between Mario Kart and God's plan. The contestants. The competition. It says in Galatians 6:4, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else, for each one should carry their own load. So obviously when you're playing Mario Kart, there are competitors, but the competitors can throw you off your course at any point. They can throw bananas and you start spinning out of control, but we've spoken about that. If the enemy comes in, we know how to reroute ourselves. We go to God, right? Nothing I tell you in these videos is about me. It's not about me. It's nothing I can do for you. It's what God can do for you. God is the only one who can spin you back onto your path. But I have a testimony that I need to share about where I was taken off my course. So I was applying to be an estate agent. I was really excited. I applied to this agency and I was certain I'd got the job. I called all of my friends and then found out that I actually hadn't gotten the job. But I recommended the job to one of my friends and she got this job. And I remember thinking, I'm not even upset about the job. I just want to know why I was less than. And whilst I was happy for my friend, the voices in my head were telling me I wasn't good enough. And I should have gotten this job, but I didn't. And I was going through it and in my mind, I just felt like such a failure. And then my friend actually encouraged me. She sat me down and she said, this is not about you. Stop comparing yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself. Keep applying and the job that is meant for you will come to you. And I love her so much for that advice because I did. I applied to different agencies I ended up getting 2 job offers from an agency that we passed on the way home to another interview that she took me to, and she was so supportive throughout the whole process. And fast forward now some months, we're about to book a holiday. I've called her and she's so upset, and it's the morning, and I'm like, why are you upset in the morning? And she's like, the company has gone into administration. I have no job. They are not paying us. And before she could even finish the sentence, in my mind, I was like, this girl literally helped me to stay on my path to get a job. I spoke to the lettings manager in the office and she had a job by the end of the day. But that's not what the story is about. It's not about me having the encouragement or the patience to go on. I deviated from God's plan for me. I was angry that the plan that I wanted for myself didn't work out when God had a plan for me. If I had not trusted God's plan, me and my friend would have both been out of a job, because I would have gotten the job that she got. I would have been the one whose company went into administration. I would have been the one who couldn't have helped my friend in a hard time. So I had to trust God's plan in that moment, and I'm so grateful that I did. There's something that happens when we get older. We just love the idea of being an author. We are not the authors of our own story. When was the last time, let me ask you, when was the last time you read a book and you started writing on the pages because you didn't like the plot? When was the last time you read a book and you went straight to the end because you were too lazy to see what the journey of the book had for you? What the journey of the book was going to be? What the plot of the book was going to be? We just don't do that. We let a book be a book. We let the author take over. So why don't we let the author of our lives take over and just let our plan just flow? It says in Psalm 139:16, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. God already knew what was written in our story. He already knew before we were even born. How beautiful is that? So why not trust him? He's the author of our life, and we should just go in blindly and trust what he has to say for us, say to us, and do for us, may I add. Lastly, the finish line. And I feel like this is so important to go over, because in Mario Kart, we are essentially playing to reach the finish line. We're playing because we want to win. We're playing because the journey is fun, but essentially we want to reach the finish line. This is the only part of Mario Kart, I think, that is the antithesis of God's plan. God's plan is about enjoying the journey. Be in it, be present, live it, enjoy it, because you can't go back. You know, if you really enjoy one of the worlds in Mario Kart, one of the tracks, you can just live it again, but we get one life on this earth before we go to heaven. So we need to be present in it. And that brings me to Ecclesiastes 7:14. When times are good, be happy, but when times are bad, consider this. God has made the one as well as the other. Therefore, no one can discover anything about their future. Guys, I'm not a future teller, and none of my videos will ever be about telling someone's future. But what I can tell you is that God knows. God knows our future. It's not for us to discover. It's for us to be present in our present. Don't look back in the past. Don't look to the future. Be excited for the future. Be grateful for the past, and be in the present. Yeah? Be excited for the future. Be grateful for the past, and be in the present. Enjoy the present, because the present becomes the past so quickly, way too quickly. The finish line is not our goal as Christians. Trusting God's plan and knowing that we have someone who has literally written our story for us is the most exciting part. Each day, if you're single, each day is a day where you don't know if you'll meet your person in the gym, at your favourite coffee shop, at church. If you're looking for a new job, you could run into someone who could literally give you your next job offer. If you go to a different country, you could get an opportunity that will change your life. Each day, we are playing what's on God's plan for me today. We're playing the most amazing game, but the only way you can really enjoy that is if you start your day with gratitude. Be grateful that God's even written you that plan, and go in blindly. Enjoy it. And lastly, I want to end with Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. If that's not real, I don't know what is. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow comes anyway. Tomorrow literally comes anyway. Be present in today. Be grateful for today. And as I said, if you enjoyed playing Mario Kart as a child, you enjoyed going onto the track, you enjoyed seeing the power-ups that you would get, but also it was a bit annoying that your opponent could throw out a banana and you'd spin out of control. It was annoying that you'd hit a power-up box that would spin you out of control. It was annoying that you lost. It's okay to not feel okay with God's plan. Trust me, I get it. I thought I was going to be engaged next year. I'm single now. I thought I was going to be moving out next year. Mortgages are mortgaging. But I still trust that each day I could reach a power-up box, my blessing from God, that will get me closer to his plan for me, his blessings, not what I think, because I'm not an author. I'm a consultant. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Pray on the words that I'm saying. I am not telling you now to go and play Mario Kart and you're just going to understand what God has in store for you. Take this message as you will, but everything I say is downloaded from God. And if it resonates, it resonates. Pray on it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm sure he'll find you in a dream, or his words will find you. But this is a personal journey. Yes, we are healing through him. We're healing with him. We're elevating with him. We're being restored in Christ. But I can't do that for you. Only God can. So please turn to him. I wish you a blessed week ahead. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. Bye bye and be blessed.